Welcome to Member Spotlight. You go to place to hear the real stories of growth, courage and connection from the heart of our Toastmaster family. I'm your host Lyubov and this is a new episode in 2026 and today we are excited to feature Benjamin Oommen, Toastmaster from India with 5 years of experience. Benjamin has served as the area director in Division C, District 127 and won first place in the video speech contest, delivered educational session on contest and contribute to clubs India, Dubai and now as a member of our Chamber Toastmaster club. And in our club he brings international flair. So Benjamin, welcome to our podcast.
Thank you so much, Lyubov. I'm really glad to be here.
Okay, so let's dive right in. And as I mentioned before, you first place win in video speech contest. So it's very impressive, and I have never met people who participate in this contest. So my question is, what key techniques did you develop to excel in virtual contest, and how do you now maybe help others prepare for such contest, or maybe these features can use for other things?
Okay, I think the whole switch to video contests happened during the pandemic. And for many people, that was a very jarring shift from the in-person contest to an online platform. But it was different for me because I joined Toastmasters during COVID, mainly to have something to do with my time and to have some kind of social interaction. So my initial 1 year of experience with Toastmasters was in the virtual platform. So for me, it was very comfortable to switch to the contest mode in the virtual platform itself. It was my first ever contest, so I didn't know any other way to do it. So I think there were a couple of things that I did that would probably be different from a in-person contest. And the first thing would be, I think, being very aware of the setting, treating your camera like an audience, like eye contact right there. And little things like bringing a little more intention in your gestures and a little more animation in your facial expressions. Those are things I think that I still struggle with every day, but they compensate for the lack of physical energy in the room. You've got to bring that energy yourself, I think. So that would be one thing. And secondly, I also focused a little bit on getting very familiar with the technology, making sure your Wi-Fi is stable as far as possible, and setting up the camera, eye contact with the device, the angle, your backgrounds, all of those things, so that nothing distracts from the actual message of the speech, which is really what speech is all about. And finally, I think in terms of what people can do, it would be these two things, and also practice, which is something that it holds true for every speech, but we have an advantage, I think, in an online platform when it comes to practice, because you're able to set up almost exactly as it will be while you're actually doing the contest. While in an in-person, you may never be able to do that. You may never be able to practice at your actual venue. While in this online platform, we have a little bit more control over our surroundings as far as possible. And we can practice almost exactly the same scenario as in we will be actually delivering the speech, So there's pros and cons, like everything, but I think we can make the best of it.
I'm not only in this straight way, but it's still I'm working as well. Thank you for your comments, and let's move on. And here's my second question. How has moving between different clubs from India and then Dubai and now in Chamber Toastmaster influenced your approach to networking and building professional relationship?
Nice question. It's about Toastmasters as a platform for self-development is that way in which it's structured. Every club is different. Every club has its own culture. And basically, your experience at Toastmasters varies wildly depending on the club that you're at. So that's something that's really quite unique, I think, about this club kind of setup. So first thing I think would be observing. Anytime I find myself in a new club, I try not to say anything immediately, and I practice listening, which is one of the skills that Toastmasters actually helps you with, even though it's not maybe advertised specifically, but listening is a skill, and it takes some practice to do it effectively. So that listening to understand what the club culture is like, I think helps you to connect when you finally do start speaking more authentically with people. So instead of a one-size-fits-all script or approach, you can tailor depending on the way people receive information or little nuances that go from club to club, and that translates into the professional world as well. So for example, it gives you a lot of perspective into what you can contribute. So you may be very comfortable in your own niche in your Toastmasters club or at your work, but the second you move to a separate team, you may find out that that niche is already occupied, or that niche is not even there. So I think exposing yourself to different clubs really helps you build that perspective and understand what it is that you can contribute, which is something that very directly translates to the professional world, right? And finally, the communication aspect, being crystal clear in communication. Yeah, so case in point, our slight misunderstanding with the timing that we had just before we started this, but we resolved it immediately. And I think that's a skill that comes also from interacting with people in different time zones or people in different cultures. Yeah, so being more intentional again about following up, checking multiple times, celebrating milestones, which I think is something that you guys do really well, letting people know when someone has achieved something. Those are things that work well in an office culture as well. It gives you a lot of motivation, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you. And also, I mentioned you have mentioned that you started online, and then in Dubai, I realized you participate offline, in person. It was huge difference when you started.
Absolutely.
And on stage in person, it's totally different type of gestures, body language, and space around you. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And my last question: if you go back and give your younger self one piece of advice when you first joined Toastmaster, what would it be, and what's the action you would recommend it and very new member take right now?
Think about why you joined. So I joined Toastmasters with a very specific goal to develop my presentation skills and communication skills. And in doing that, I sort of neglected one of the other very important aspects of Toastmasters. So I think it's said that there are two big pillars in Toastmasters. One is communication and the other is leadership. So I spent the first 4 years of my Toastmasters experience fully involved in communication and only involved in that, actively running away from any leadership roles. So I think I would advise myself, if I could go back a few years, to be more involved in the leadership aspect as well, because it's something that we shy away from for many reasons. For me, it was that I felt that I saw leadership as just in its negative aspects, having to manage people, having to deal with maybe drama, that just comes naturally with people. And I thought, I get enough of that in my everyday life, in my work. Why do I want to do that in my free time? And then a friend told me something very interesting, like, why do I go for communication in Toastmasters? It's because it's a safe space to practice your communication. And it's really true for leadership as well. Toastmasters is a safe space to practice aspects of leadership that even things that you may not find interesting or enjoy, things like dealing with drama, which, by the way, something that you define as drama may be something very important to someone else. So it's I may interpret something as complaining while it's a very valid concern for someone else. So I think Toastmasters is also a great space to practice all of that, because end of the day, we are all ideally working with humans, even though who knows in the future what that's going to be like. But it's just part and parcel of working with humans is dealing with human tendencies and human emotions and things that you get to practice during leadership. So definitely, I would advise any young Toastmaster, a new Toastmaster, grab any leadership opportunity that you get and give it a shot. You'll at least find out if it's something that you like to do, if there's something that you can do better. I think that's really important. Don't just focus on one aspect of Toastmasters, explore the whole gamut.
I totally agree with you. When we came just to think about something public or communication, and Toastmasters don't think about leadership at all. And after a couple of years, we just tried to dive in this. But I think if Toastmasters make more focus on leadership, people more actively take all the roles or responsibilities or something, just to in safe space to training all of this activity.
Exactly, yeah.
Because here it's totally safe space, for communication and leaderships as well.
Yeah.
Benjamin Oommen, thank you so much for sharing your incredible journey with us from contest stage in East India and Dubai, your experience, and now you open your new chapter with our club. Thank you for your energy, wisdom, and passion for helping others grow. Truly contagious. And our listeners, if Benjamin's stories inspired you to step on stage, enter a contest, or reach out to a new club, so take that action today, and small steps create a big transformation. And a huge thank you to Benjamin for being our guest in this member spotlight. So subscribe so never miss new podcast. Thank you and bye.
Thank you.